Thing we have even seen in the modern era. If we do not get busy, if we do not create a World War II level mass mobilization to reverse climate change and to transition from a dirty economy into a clean economy, we could be facing, within 12 to 20 years, a level of social collapse unlike anything that we have seen. There could be whole swaths of countries, whole swaths of continents, where because of the heat, it is literally uninhabitable. Food will not grow. Massive food shortages, economic collapse, the possibilities of hundreds of millions of environmental refugees. Right now, we have the largest humanitarian refugee crisis since since World War II, and we're talking now about what could be tens, possibly, God forbid, even hundreds more. You know, a while ago, the talk was about the Paris Accords. And now, rejoining the Paris Accords is like, duh, that's the first thing, and that's almost like kindergarten compared to what we need to do. Then the conversation became the Green New Deal. Of course we need the Green New Deal, but to be honest with you, we need to go further than just the Green New Deal. We need that World War II level mass mobilization. I'm going to tell you, because a lot of you are young here, I'm going to tell you what I will do if I'm president. We're going to have a referendum, and it's going to be yours to decide. Those of you who are 18 to 30, I want to have a referendum. I'm not going to submit it as legislation, but I'm going to ask you. I'm going to have a referendum, and I'm going to have you weigh in. I would like to introduce a situation where, for 10 years, we can try it out for 10 years. Between the age of 18 and 26, you give 1 year. 1 year of national service. Because we're going to need something that big. Our generation needs to decide what it's going to do. Are we going to repair or not? Because the levels of stress on our external and internal infrastructures are so great at this point. So, once again, it will be for the 18 to 30-year-olds to decide, but I think the referendum would be important. Because if you're talking about a level of mass mobilization, the kind that is necessary to make the kind of transition that we need, there are two issues here for a national service, mandatory 1 year. One has to do with greening America. One has to do with development of solar, development of wind, development of all the things that we need to do to create a green economy. But it also has to do with anything else you're interested in. If you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a nurse, we really need you in one of these rural hospitals. If you want to be a teacher, we really need your help in one of these rural schools. I mean, we have to get, and I know that this is, you know, some of you might be thinking, God, this is all I need, like, you know, I'm young and this is what I have to face. Yes, actually. There was a generation that was young when Pearl Harbor got attacked too. I mean, a crisis is never convenient. A crisis is not convenient for a person, and a crisis is not convenient for a country, but we're in one. The next thing we need to do, I believe, is no country. What we need is a season of repair. We're a big ship, and we need to move this ship. We need to navigate a big turning. One of the reasons I feel I'm the best person for the job is because for the last 35 years, that's what I have done, help people navigate change. Whether it's a person or an individual, you're not going to have the future you want if you're not willing to clean up the past. America has a couple of issues it has to clean up, or we will never, ever go forward the way we need to. One has to do with slavery, and one has to do with Native Americans in this country. I don't think the average American is a racist, but I think the average American is deeply undereducated about race. We are a good people and we're an intelligent people, but we need to start having a much deeper conversation than we normally do. Because the political establishment keeps the conversation so superficial, it's too narrow a container for the kind of energies we need to be bringing up within ourselves. So, first slave ships brought over in 1619, slavery not abolished until 1865. That's almost 250 years. In addition to that, except for 12 years of Reconstruction, there was another 100 years of institutionalized violence against black people in the United States. What do you call lynchings if not domestic terror? What do you call Ku Klux Klan if not domestic terrorism? At the end of the Civil War, it is estimated that there were between 4 and 5 million enslaved people. And they were promised by an American general named Tecumseh Sherman 40 acres and a mule for every former slave family of 4. In the vast majority of cases, the promise was then rescinded. And the economic gap that existed at the end of the Civil War has never been closed.